guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a video that actually was requested like 3 years ago. I know I suck at video requests. I always get a lot of video requests and I take forever to freaking put them out, but trying to better myself, guys. But this video is a video that I have actually been wanting to put out for you guys since I got married, and a lot of you guys actually always ask me questions regarding how I plan my parties and saving and budgeting. A lot of you guys, ever since I posted my wedding highlights video, if you guys have not seen it, I will link it down below. A lot of you guys were asking me just how I budgeted for my wedding because I did pay everything out of pocket, and we all know how weddings can be very, very, very expensive. And to be honest with you guys, I was not really in a great financial point in my life. I mean, I wasn't like completely broke, obviously, but I was living paycheck to paycheck at that moment. And I did want to make sure that I gave myself, my husband, we both gave each other a beautiful wedding, and we stuck with what we could afford, obviously, at the time. So I want to kind of let you guys know what I do for planning and also just how to throw a lit party. I know you guys all always compliment me and tell me that I throw some lit ass parties, and I'm not gonna lie, I do throw some lit parties. And that's just because I've mentioned this many times before. I don't ever just splurge my money and spend it on a bunch of random stuff. I like to spend my money on stuff that I'm going to remember, like parties and vacations, and that's just my personal preference. But anytime that I have a get-together for my friends, my family, I like to go all out, and that's just because I want to show everybody a good time, and it's stuff that I work hard for, so I want to make sure that everything is very well thought out, and that's just me. I love parties. If I could throw a party every weekend, I probably would, and I like to celebrate pretty much everything there is to celebrate. So I posted the video of Maximiliano's Bautizo, and you guys all loved it. It was a little bit actually more intimate. It was something a little bit smaller than I usually do, even though we did have a banda. But I have a lot of parties coming. So it's crazy that I really want to like tone it down a little bit. I don't want to do too much every time, but Maximiliano's first birthday is also going to be something that I'm really thinking about, and that I'm really, really trying to make sure that it's a very beautiful first birthday for him. And although he's not going to remember all these pictures and everything, I want him to be able to cherish those memories, and as well as myself and everybody that's going to be joining us for the party. But the big question was always the wedding planning. So what's crazy is that I actually wrote a note, and this note all the way at the bottom of my notes, and I don't think it shows when it was updated. July 21st, 2016 at 3:26 p.m. was the last time I wrote in my notes. And this is because I had wrote down notes for this video. We're in 2019, people. Please tell me what's wrong with my life. But I did go ahead and put everything, kind of how it happened, how we did it, and how we were able to plan the perfect wedding, at least for us. Everybody's idea of a perfect party, a perfect wedding, a perfect this is completely different, you know. But I'm going to show you guys my tips, my tricks, what I like to do, and just hopefully it helps you guys also budget and be able to throw some amazing parties. So to start, the first 3 things that I feel like every party should have, and that most people will talk about, or I guess people mostly complain about these things, but the top 3 things that you should definitely think about and spend the most that you can are food, music, and decorations. I feel like those are like the top 3 things. Food is like the top of the list, because without good food you have no party. And I know that it's crazy because I hardly ever post like my food that I have at the parties, but I go with somebody who has been catering for us for a really long time. He is amazing. His name is Eduardo. I will ask the people that usually work with me if it's okay for me to link like their Facebooks down below. I believe that's all they have, Facebook, just so you guys can get in touch with them if you guys are local. I will ask them first because I know there's some people who don't really like to be thrown out there like that, but he is somebody here local. He catered my bridal shower, my baby shower, my wedding. He catered my gender reveal. He has catered a lot of our parties, and not only is his food absolutely amazing, it is very traditional. I feel like it's really hard to find real good authentic Mexican food, and his stuff is really authentic, and it also is very affordable. And when I was first looking for catering for my wedding, everything was like $5,000-$6,000 for just food, and I was like, oh my god, this is like my whole budget, you know what I mean? So I was like really worried. So when I found him, I was like, you are amazing, and his food is absolutely delicious. I have never had anybody complain about the food that I have served at my parties, and that's just because I feel like food is everything. For my birthday, when I turned 25, I threw myself a birthday party. It was 25 or 26, I'm not sure. I threw myself a birthday party, and I actually had pizza, and everybody was like, oh my god, you had freaking pizza. Like, food is everything. The whole party, everybody, when they go to a party, like, that's what they're looking forward to, the food. So if the food's nasty, it's like, you're canceled, you know? So it's like those three things are definitely something that you guys need to keep in consideration, that you guys want to spend the most money on, and it's food, decorations, and the music. Obviously, the music is everything in a party, so that's why I'm putting out those three topics out. So now for my wedding, the way that everything started as far as like budgeting, Ulises and I got engaged on February 7th. So it was Ulises' birthday, and he proposed to me on his birthday. We were in New York, and from February up until July, so we didn't get married that following July, we got married the year after, so it gave us about February, March, April, May, June, July, 5 months, about a year and 5 months to plan everything. We had given ourselves like a 2-year mark, but it ended up being a year and a half. And like you guys know, I used to work at Wells Fargo. I worked at the bank. So I've always been pretty smart with my money. When I was just 18 years old, fresh out of high school, I had a job at GameStop, you know, that paid me about $300 every 2 weeks, and I managed to be able to save about $25,000 at the age of 18. So I've always been very smart about my money. I've never been one to just kind of splurge, but mind you guys, I love amazing things, but like I said, I've never been one to just kind of have a zero balance on my bank account, and that's just kind of how I've always been, up until the point where I got engaged, that I was living paycheck to paycheck. And this is because I was at a really hard time in my life. I was really struggling. I had just moved to the Bay Area. It was really expensive out there. I was paying about $2,000 in rent. I was paying $10 a day in toll. I was, you know, paying groceries and bills, and life just kind of like slapped me in the face. And then I got engaged, and I was like, how am I going to pay for this wedding, you know? So I was working at the bank at the time, and I told Ulises, we are engaged now, so we should open up a joint account. So what I did was I had a joint account opened for us, and it was a savings account with both mine and his name on it, with automatic transfers coming out of both of our checking accounts once a week. So once a week, every Friday, he would deposit $100 and I would deposit $100. The next week, he would deposit $100 and I would deposit $100. So we would each be depositing $400 a month, and it accumulated to $800 a month together. So we did that for about 6 months, and we saw that, you know, our saving was going up really high. We both had a little bit of savings, but we weren't trying to just go broke and spend all of our money on this wedding. You guys know that being Mexican, I'm sure it's just a Mexican thing. I'm not sure if other cultures do this or not, but we always get padrinos for everything, right? They pay for the food, the limo, the music, the this and the that, because that's how my quinceañera was paid. My quinceañera was paid by all of my friends, uncles, cousins of my cousins, and everybody who wanted to pitch in. Which I feel like there's obviously nothing wrong if that's traditions, like if that's how it was supposed to be. I don't know. I didn't want my wedding to be like that. I feel like if you are throwing a party and you are having a wedding, it should be a wedding that you're able to afford and that you can put together for your guests. I never really understood why guests pay for something, but like I said, my quinceañera was exactly like this. I had padrinos for everything. I had like 20 padrinos just for the limo. So when I got engaged, I told Lisa, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna ask anybody for help. Of course, my brothers and my sisters, Ulises' mom and dad and stuff like that, they helped us, but nothing other than that. So we didn't want anybody to help us with the wedding, and that was just our personal preference. And I was like, I was determined that we were going to save money and we were going to pay everything, and I was going to have my dream wedding. So I knew I had to be smart, I knew I had to budget, and I knew that I had to give myself a budget. So I gave myself a $25,000 budget, which to some of you guys you guys are going to think it's a lot, and to some of you guys are going to think like, wow, you did all of that for $25,000, because I did. And I'm so proud of myself, because weddings are expensive. An over-the-top extravagant wedding can cost anywhere from like $40,000 to $60,000, okay? That is a down payment on a house. So I was like, oh my God, you know, like I really need to be smart. I had seen a wedding reception that included everything, like the catering, the music, and it was like $40,000, and I didn't even get to pick anything. So I was like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna go and do everything separate. So Lisa and I started our bank account, and we were managing to save a lot of money. So by the 6-month point, we got to about August, we gave ourselves a whole year, whole 12 months to save more. And we were very, very, very strict on it, because Lisa knew how much I wanted this to be a beautiful wedding. I knew how much I wanted this to be a beautiful wedding. And I know some of you guys can't, you know, save that much money, but even if it's $50, if it's $100, that easily accumulates. That's $10,000 that you didn't have. That's $20,000 you didn't have. So mind you guys, in a 12-point period, so if we're putting $400 each, if we're putting $800 each, because at this point, when we hit the 6-month mark, we were putting each $200. So I was putting $200 a week, he was putting $200 a week, so we were doing $400 a week each. So then that accumulated to $1,600 times 12 months. We were able to save about $20,000 in a year. Which is pretty good, you know what I mean? The average person in America can't even save $1,000 in their bank account, and that's just statistics. So with that, and of course the other additional money that we had saved, which was around $7,000, we were able to get to the $25,000 mark. I'm not including my dress in there, because I did purchase my dress. Actually, my dad purchased my dress for me, and I didn't include that in my budget. That was out of my pocket, out of what I wanted to do, and that's just a whole different conversation. But we were able to throw this beautiful wedding out of us just saving for that whole year. So that's something that you guys want to also keep in mind. If you're planning your dream wedding and you were engaged, this is the time for you to save. You know what I mean? This is the time for you to start saving. And if you need to get married in 2 to 3 years, get married in 2 to 3 years. Give yourself that time to be able to save and throw yourself the wedding that you want. I had a very intimate wedding, although it looked like there was a whole lot of people there. I have a huge family. I have the biggest family ever, okay? Like, well, I mean, not the biggest family ever, but I have a huge family. I have, you know, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. I have 4 siblings, and each of them have a bunch of kids. I have about 14 nieces and nephews. You know, my cousins have kids, and when we all get together, it's a whole bunch of us. Along with my primary family is about 30 of us, and then adding, you know, like my cousin Judith's family, my cousin Gabby's family. The reason, like, they're the people that I am the closest to. So all of my dad's brothers, like a lot of you guys ask me how Judith and me are cousins. Her dad and my dad are brothers, and I have my cousin Gabby, who you guys have also seen on some of her vlogs, I'm sure. Her dad and my dad are brothers, and then, you know, we have my cousin Eric that I've showed you guys on my social media. His dad and my dad are brothers. So all of my dad's brothers, he has 5 brothers in LA. 4 brothers in LA, I'm sure. He has brothers in LA, and, you know, when they all come down, that's already like a full house. That's already like 100 people, you know what I mean? So it might have seemed like I threw a really, 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 really big wedding because there were so many people there, but there was a lot of people in my family who were actually not even invited. And you know what's crazy? The reason that I bring this up is that I've had a lot of comments where people have said that my poor side of the family wasn't invited to my wedding. I don't even know where that rumor started or how that rumor started or who even said that, because I mean, no shade or anything, but like I don't even have, like, we're not rich. Like nobody in my family's rich, you know what I mean? Like I don't just invite my rich family. So I don't even know where that came from. I honestly didn't invite a lot of family to my wedding, and it wasn't because I'm like, oh my god, I'm Evettexo. No, I wanted my wedding to be very intimate, and I wanted only the people that actually talk to me and that, you know, ask me on a daily basis, how are you, how you been, you know, we've had communication. I wasn't gonna invite my aunt's aunt just because they're my aunt, when they don't even know what I'm doing with my life right now. Like they don't even care what I'm doing with my life. And I feel like that's what's wrong with a lot of traditional Mexican weddings, is that we invite the tia's tia, and then they bring the tia of the tia. You know what I mean? And it's like, then I end up with like 400 people, and it's like, now I have to feed 400 people. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to limit yourself in order to have something really nice with the people who really, I guess, are there for you. And when I made my list, I told my mom and I told my dad and I told Elisa's, you know, side of the family, we're going to be very specific about who we're inviting to our wedding, because I wanted something to be very intimate, and every single person that was at my wedding, I wanted to be able to know who they were, why they were there, and everything. You know what I mean? Like, like, you know, sometimes when you look back at your videos and you're like, who's that lady dancing like on the corner, you know, because you don't even know who it is, but it's like your aunt's cousin, you know. And it's like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be able to have a very intimate wedding. And I also didn't have any children, which is something you guys probably didn't even know. I didn't allow other people to bring their kids. The only kids that were allowed at my wedding were my immediate family, my cousins and stuff, like some of their kids, but like friends, they were not allowed to bring their kids. And I know people can like have their own opinions about situations like this, but this is how I wanted to plan my wedding and how I wanted myself to be limited with a lot of chaos that goes on in planning a party. You guys know little kids are running around everywhere. If there's a little kid running around, I know I can smack him because he's my niece or my nephew, so I'll tell him to sit his ass down. If it's somebody else's kid, like you know, I can't really say anything. So it's like, I wanted to give myself that control. I wanted to pescar un chiquillo that's over there running around if I needed to. So that's just a little, you know, input about what happened at my specific wedding. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of people. I had about 200 people, which, like I said, to some of you guys is a lot, but to a traditional Mexican wedding, it's actually not that many. So that obviously cut down how many people I would be feeding. So that's something that I did budget myself. So like I said, the wedding itself, I budgeted at $25,000. So what we had to do was for church, I have my list here. Church was only $300. Like you guys know, for most Catholic churches, you do have to pay a certain fee for like the priest to be there. It's like a donation. So they charged me $300, and then all of the padrinos that I had for that were the traditional padrinos that you have for a wedding. So like the padrinos de honor, the lazo, the arras, the ramo, the cojines, the crucifijo, the Biblia, el rosario, el cojín, all that stuff. So that's how you plan, obviously, your wedding for church. Now the reception. So for the reception, I had an outdoor wedding, and I got very lucky with this reception. This reception is not a reception that could be rented. He is actually a friend of one of Ulises' cousins, and he was very kind to rent to us his winery. So it is a winery where people go and like obviously do wine tasting, but they do not rent it out to the public. They throw parties only for family and friends, and they actually allowed us to rent it for them, and we paid them $1,000 just for the reception. And mind you guys, this saved me a lot of money, and that was because I got lucky with this person, you know, because a lot of receptions cost like $2,000 to $3,000, especially an outdoor reception can go anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. So I really saved myself a lot of money with this specific location. So then obviously if you're doing an outdoor wedding, I had to rent a porta potty. I had to get, you know, obviously liability insurance. That costs also, you know, has fees for you to be able to serve alcohol, all of that good stuff. And then I had to pay security. So A lot of halls, they come with like security included. Some of them don't. So that was obviously another. I want you guys to hopefully take notes of this so you guys don't forget anything, because I know there's some of you guys who are planning weddings, and I wish I would have known exactly what to plan when I was planning. But that's what it is for an outdoor wedding. So that within itself, the porta potty was around $600, probably another $1,000. Okay, so for catering, I got catering, and then I also got a cocktail hour added to it. So they were doing like pastry, like they were doing finger foods, stuff like that, serving while people are sitting down and getting all of that taken care of. I had a bartender. That came up anywhere from like $2,300 to $2,500 for the whole thing. Decorations, I had to do tables, chairs, centerpieces, silverware, glasses. I had everything, like the whole setup that comes in a reception. I cheated myself, obviously, a little bit with my decorations because I had to be really smart with my decorations. A lot of you guys probably did not know this, but my flowers that were actually at the reception were silk flowers. They were not real flowers. And the reason I did that was because it was 110 degrees the day of my wedding. It was super hot, and I already knew that if I had real flowers, they were going to be dead by the time I got there. And the amazing thing about my reception is that everything around it was green, and everything was basically a bunch of greenery. So I was able to play it off like my flowers were real. And honestly, nobody had a clue that my flowers were fake. My flowers were 100% fake. They were not real. But because there was so much greenery around, I saved myself a whole bunch of money. They had originally quoted me at $20,000 for just flowers, and I knocked myself down up to about $7,000 to $8,000 on decorations. And I'm talking about decorations included my centerpieces, my tablecloths, all of the decor for all of like the cake, the presents, everything around it, all the shibari chairs. If you guys know what shibari chairs are, they are very expensive. They're like $12 to rent a piece, so they're very pricey. That's why a lot of people do like the covers over the chairs, because you can rent the chairs for 50 cents and then the covers over them. But I don't like how that looks. That's just personal preference. I really wanted shibari chairs, so I was able to budget myself to give myself beautiful decorations for under $7,000, which I feel like is really good, because if you guys saw my decor, I actually loved everything, every little detail. The lady who does my decorations, she has been doing my decorations for a really long time. She does the decor for every event that I have ever had. Every single party I've done has been done by her. Her name is Veronica, and she is absolutely amazing. She kills it every time. I am never disappointed, and I know that she wouldn't mind me putting her stuff down below. I will get a link to her Facebook, and if you guys want to get in touch with her, I would highly 100% recommend her, because she is honestly amazing. Like, I give her a vision and she nails it. So then after decorations, it's photography. I had photography, I had a photo booth, I had videography, the person that's capturing my video. My photography and my videographer were completely different. I wanted to separate them because I definitely wanted them to focus on one thing and one thing only. If you get somebody who does like photography and, you know, videography, then that's completely up to you. I wanted somebody who specializes in specifically just videography 100% and just photography 100%, which is the two people that I did. I will link their information down below as well. I had the banda. The banda was a little pricey, because we all know banda is expensive, and this is why I say make sure you guys are budgeting, because most of my stuff went to food, decorations, and the banda. Most bandas, obviously, they charge anywhere from about $1,500 to $1,700 an hour, so we know it's pricey. So this banda, obviously, they gave me a little bit of a discount. I'm not gonna lie, because I did, you know, show them a little bit of love on social media. But it wasn't like a crazy amount. I still ended up paying about $5,000, so it was still pretty pricey. And then alcohol and beer, I spent about $1,500. I should stop saying we, because it was me and Elisa's. We spent $1,500 on pure alcohol, and that was just a budget that we wanted to do. And we had plenty enough beer and alcohol. We had a lot left over. And then the fee for the bartender, we also had mariachi. If you guys know me, I love mariachi. Mariachi is everything to me. Like, I love mariachi. I don't know why I love it so much, but I always want to have it at all my parties. I'm so freaking weird like that, but I love mariachi. I feel like mariachi just makes everything just so much more beautiful. I had it at my baby shower. I didn't have it at Maximiliano's bautizo, but I love it. Lucis's family, they're not a really big fan of mariachi, but I love mariachi, and yeah, mariachi is also a little expensive. They charge about $400 to $500 an hour as well. So I had mariachi, and then I had a DJ. I had the limo that took us, and then our invitations were also included in that. Our cake, our sweets table, and then I also had a dove throwing. So all of that, all those little things were all included in budgeting. So my first, obviously, recommendation for you guys is to make sure you guys write everything down. See how much everything is going to cost you, and see how much money you have to spend. If you need to get mariachi for maybe 2 hours instead of 3, then do it for that. If you can only afford the banda from 9 to 12, then just do that. Give yourself a party that you guys can afford. You guys are allowed to be able to plan amazing parties. You just have to budget yourself. It's all about budgeting. If you're somebody who can save, you guys can do that. This is something that I do for all of my parties. For Maximiliano's bautizo, like I said, I focused on the 3 top things, and it's always that. A lot of you guys are always like, you have the most beautiful decorations. I don't do the decorations myself, but I do feel like I have an amazing vision for what I like and what I want. And honestly, Pinterest is my go-to. If you guys don't follow me on Pinterest, follow me. My thing on there is Evettexo. I'm always pinning stuff. I get all of my inspiration from Pinterest. All of my decor, all you have to do is just put like black and white decor, white and gold decorations, and it will come up. For Maximiliano's bautizo, like I said, sent it to my girl Veronica, and I told her I want everything white, pops of gold. I want it to look really pure, a lot of greenery. I want the main focus to be the centerpieces, and she nailed it. I know that a lot of you guys, think that you guys have to do a lot of DIY stuff, and I hate DIY stuff. I'll be completely honest with you. I'd rather pay somebody to do something than me do it myself, and that's just me being freaking lazy, but I hate doing DIY stuff. But you can be very smart about what to do. You can do smaller stuff. For my gender reveal, all of those decorations were literally under $1,000 for my gender reveal, and you guys saw how beautiful that looked. You just have to be very particular. Learn to budget yourself. Smaller centerpieces, less, cheaper cloth, but still going to look nice with more expensive chairs. Those are obviously like little details that you're going to learn along the way when planning a party. I do a lot of parties all the time, so I've learned the hard way. My parties have gotten better and better because I've learned to budget myself. And like I said, I myself don't mind. If you're somebody who you feel like parties are just like for a day, for what, why am I going to do that, then this is not for you, but somebody like me who really, really likes to take the time to perfect every little detail and does not mind spending the money, then yes, you are going to have a beautiful party. But this video is not to tell you guys that you can have an extravagant party for under $100, because that's unrealistic. Good things cost money, and you have to be able to just learn to budget. This whole video is just learning how to budget your money. That little trick of me just showing you guys $100, $20, $50 literally comes a long way. If your baby was just born and he's 4 months and you're planning his first birthday, start now. Go to the bank, open up a bank account, deposit $50 every week if you can. By the time he's a year, you should have a good amount of money saved for you to throw him a really nice birthday party, him or her. So that's just kind of how I did what I did. I don't know if this is even like an informative video as far as like tips and tricks, because I just kind of told you guys how I planned my wedding and what worked for me. But it's all about budgeting, guys. Like, I really wish I could do like a whole financial video for you guys on how to like be smart with your money, because I have learned a lot along the way with being able to be very smart with what I'm spending my money on and how to spend it. And like I said, you guys are going to be seeing a lot of parties from me. because that's just kind of what I love. This is what I love to spend with all my family. This is what I spend most of my money on. And it's just throwing really good parties. And don't think that I'm just out here spending like $10,000 a party, because tampoco. Like, it's not that serious either, you know? Like I said, I know how to budget myself very well, and I know how to throw really, 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 really nice parties for a little bit cheaper. And, you know, Nico, you know, when you work with somebody, you know, working with somebody that you've been working with a long time, eventually they're going to start hooking you up. They're going to start being like, oh, okay, pues si esta muchacha siempre viene conmigo, like, you know, I'm going to throw this in for free this time, or I'm not going to charge you for that this time. Like, I know that there's those people that do that because they appreciate your business. So me being somebody who always throws party, I have my connections with people, you know, who they're always there for me, and they put it down, and it's good. But if you guys are local and you guys are looking to get more information on the people that I specifically use, because I know a lot of you guys ask me questions all the time, I'm going to link all of their information down below, so you guys can go ahead and contact them. I'm not sure if any of them travel. I know I have a lot of girls obviously everywhere, so I don't know if they travel, but you guys are more than welcome to hit them up and all of that good stuff. But I hope that this video was a little bit informative for you guys, and you guys are able to kind of know how I do what I do and why I throw parties the way that I throw parties. And also, alcohol is very important. You guys need alcohol, because there's no party without alcohol, especially if you're Mexican. I've been to parties where they don't allow alcohol, and the party ends like at 8 o'clock, which is so sad, but you need alcohol. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, and I'm going to have another video for you guys up on Friday, and that's going to be on my hair care routine, because I know a lot of you guys have been asking me how my hair's been doing. As you guys can see, it is starting to look normal, so I really am excited about that. And then Sunday's video, I am going to have a video on this weekend, and it's going to be an update on Max's 6 months. I did record it already, so hopefully the footage is perfect, so I can post that up for you guys. But I will see you guys in my next couple of videos. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like, literally check right now if you're subscribed to my channel, because there's a lot of people on there that leave comments, and then I click it, and then it's like you guys aren't subscribed. So like, subscribe right now. Go subscribe and like my video if you guys liked it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Love you guys.